This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and today we're working with this pattern. It is pattern 36844. So let me copy that and put it over here with my template. And then I'm going to just kind of show it off to the side. And I'm going to put it to a new layer, so that way we can move it around if necessary. So this one's kind of interesting, right? Because it's 8 strings, right? So, and we have 8 strings on one side. Let's grab the dark color. So let's say if we start off 2, 3 with the darks up here and like the yellow. I kind of like the fact that it's in blue and yellow. Like in 2 color, it could have been black and white. Doesn't matter, but and do the yellow. The general gist is blue. That the blue going over blue is obviously can't be anything other than the blue. That gives you the 1 spot. And then when it goes underneath the yellow is where the pattern gets developed. Which is cool. That's a neat premise, but it's going to give us some opportunity to play with this pattern in a couple different ways. So again, anywhere where it's straight up blue over blue, it has to be blue. That's just a thing. So what I'm doing here is I'm setting myself up to be able to have a template to be able to get a couple different variations on this. I don't know which one I most want to make because in my head I've already figured out like there's a couple different possibilities here. So yeah. Okay, so next is the yellows. So the yellow is come straight across this way, and so you see everything inside of that square has the possibility of being either a blue or a yellow. So that's, if that doesn't like give you a little inspiration to say, wow, I could do something different, I don't know what will, because honestly, it's whatever you want in that square. That's how my original yin yang, I made a bracelet with yin yangs in it, and that's how I pulled it off. And it turned out, I thought it was pretty cool. Okay, so now these go underneath all of these blue ones. So like all this here is blue, like that. Now, you know me, I'm going to reverse the whole pattern when we get to the middle, but that's not necessary, right? You could just make this continue out straight through for the whole rest of the bracelet. But I'm going to enjoy flipping it over when it gets down to the center part of this, because it'll just add another quirky detail that, you know, will be interesting. It'll be fun. Again, though, this pattern, you could just go straight down the row with it and continue it out. It would be pretty cool. There we go. So there's our start. So you can see the squares here are where this kind of hook shape comes into it. So yeah, I guess it's like this right here. Right? Or no, it's off one. It's over here. Yeah. So we'll play with that in a little bit. Let's first get our template built. So the program I'm using is GIMP, which actually stands for something, I don't know, image manipulation program is the last part. I forget what the G is. But it's a free program, which seriously appeals to me because I don't want to have to do the expensive subscription to Adobe. And I imagine most of my viewers don't either. So, but yeah, making little templates, figuring out how to start or change a pattern. Definitely, this is a cool way of getting it done. There we go. So we know that all this underlying string goes through. Oh, look at that. It ends up perfect at that spot there. Oh, that is way cool. Yeah, so this is unexpectedly, it's gonna end at a perfect spot where it's just gonna make this really super cool. I was thinking about just like holding off on coloring these in, but seeing how close we are to the end, this is just going to be easier if I do it first, because we're going to use this a tool in here that'll actually allow me to duplicate it. So I'll have like 2 copies of the same exact thing that I've already gone through. That will help me to be able to create a couple different versions, because I want you guys to see, like, yes, doubling it can do something neat, but we can double it in different ways. And that makes it kind of even neater, because then you get to choose which version you want to go with. So, yeah, this is very, very cool. Suddenly realized, like, I'm kind of struggling with the mouse to get it into the spaces. That's because I haven't zoomed in enough, which is kind of a reoccurring thing that happens a lot for me. I don't know why. I guess I do know why. I like to be able to see the bigger picture, and so being zoomed out kind of helps a little bit with that. But there we go. Okay, so there's our first quarter. So now if you go up to image, you can hit duplicate. So now I have 2 versions of this. Now we can hide away this template, and I'll show you the easy version. Copy this, Control C, Control V, use my flip tool. There we go, there it is. And flip that over here. And with that, let's anchor that layer first. And with that, we can make the shapes kind of go whichever direction we want to. If you want to have it going, well, actually, because we did the template, we can seriously do this up. So my thought was, that is the hook for this, right? And this is the hook for that. So then this is how the yellow comes around. This is how the blue comes around. Okay. Again with the blue over here. And you can see it does the same thing in both of the rows. I've got the yellow, it's okay. Right? So you can see this version it's the same thing, kind of flowing downwards with 2 hooks in each row. In this version, let's hide this, grab this, Control C, Control V, flip it over and anchor the layer. Get our paint tool again. So we have the yellow. All right. Just put a couple of these in. Okay. Now the blue. Actually, we didn't need to do the copy paste thing first. It would have, but I'll show you. Blue in this one. And then the yellow goes in here. And you can see, like, we already have all the underlying strings involved. So there's very little left to do other than these little bits here. Technically, that one would have been a yellow. So we'll let it be a yellow. So now let's get our select tool. So this one, copy and paste, do the flip tool, and see now you have it going the other direction. Grab the select tool, anchor our layer, and then we can grab the whole top half. Control C, Control V. And we can flip it down below and anchor the layer. So this one has a bit of creativity about it, right? Where it's sort of kind of pretty bizarre. It's really fun. I would be kind of a little bit tempted though to maybe make the yellow kind of pop out a little bit more here, but that's interesting. Let's go back to this other version. Again, you could just go straight rows with it, or let's finish this filling it in. We've got the yellow, so wait, we're on the right, we're on the wrong tool. Right. And again, these little like hook shapes that are in here, those could have been kind of almost anything you could fit in that little box and let it repeat out. Oh. You got to be careful when you're grabbing up the color. That in that case, it came out kind of weird, is because it got a little bit of the black edge and it mixed the black and the blue together to come up with a different color. Okay, again, technically, I think those are yellows. And again, you could bring this all the way down, continue the pattern endlessly, or you can do what I'm about to do and grab the whole top half, copy and paste it, and flip it over to have it going the other way. So, two interesting ways of doing this. I'll put both of the patterns available over on my website, so that way you guys can try it out if you want. Obviously, going just straight with this one here would probably make the most sense, because it's a little... Oh, you know what else you could do? Wait, we Control Z. Go back to that flip tool. We can flip this the other way. give it even more of a difference, because you'll see all of the lines, they all still line up. So let me image duplicate. So now we have this version and this version. So 3 different ones. Look at that. How quick was that? And it's sort of, you know, as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing wrong. I didn't cheat to get 3 versions so easily. I'm just using the tools that are available, and hopefully that helps inspire you guys. Before I go, I want to thank my Patreon supporters as well as my YouTube members for making all this possible. Without their help, I wouldn't have the string to make it. And at this point, I'm not sure which one I'm going to do. Because now that I've actually swapped that other bottom part around, that's kind of fun. But then that first one was pretty neat as well. So I'm not sure. And mind you, we took a very, very easy pattern and made it way more complicated. So yeah, that's kind of a thing, but that's okay, right? We're here to learn, we're here to grow. And yeah, so thanks for hanging out with me. And as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.